Hey, what's up? It's Avehre, and you're watching Gospel Goodies TV.
Gospel goodies.
Gospel goodies. Gospel goodies.
This is Gospel Goodies.
It's Gospel Goodies Radio on Philly's Favor 100.7 FM and 99.5 HD3, home of the Yolanda Adams Morning Show. I'm Aaliyah Faust, and I'm super excited to be joined by Avehre, award-winning singer, songwriter, producer. I'm sure there are a lot of other titles. Welcome to the Goodie Gang, sir.
Oh, thank you for having me. I love this show, and I just love what you're doing. So it's such an honor to be on with you today.
Thank you. And we were just talking about this off of the recording, about how we've been following each other on social media for so long, and we finally got the chance to sit down and talk. So there's so much I want to ask. But first, because I feel like this is like the one on top of everything, I keep hearing that you're Gladys Knight's protege. So tell me a little bit more about that and the people listening and watching.
Yes, it's been such an incredible journey. Almost 10 years ago, I met Miss Gladys Knight, and I was just, first moving to LA from Chicago, pursuing music. And a mutual friend was already touring with Gladys, someone that was from my hometown that I actually hadn't met before. But she just heard about me through the grapevine, that I was a songwriter, from her hometown, and that I just knew other great singers, because I was known for putting together groups back in the day and just really like always having great singers around me that I would use for different projects. I'm really big into vocal production. So when I got the call for Gladys, it wasn't even for me to be a part of it. It was for me to recommend someone. So, I got the call and they said, hey, we know that you know great singers. Can you send somebody, that can audition? So I actually reached out to two friends of mine, and neither one of them were available at the time, or they just didn't get around to sending their audition tape. And I was like, what? This isn't the direct connect to Gladys. What y'all doing? So, something in me gave me the ambition to, send in my own tape, actually not even thinking that I was the part, because they asked for a specific voice type. And I just didn't think that it was, for me. But I still went on and sent it. And, I got called back to come and audition in person. And so I went and auditioned, and it was actually kind of discouraging because Gladys was so busy and her team was really busy. So my audition got rescheduled 3 times. So that third time I was like, they playing with me. This ain't gonna happen. And I deliberately missed the bus. I was supposed to take a mega bus from LA to Vegas to do the audition. And I missed the bus and didn't go. And something hit me like maybe an hour later, like I literally heard the voice of God saying, this will be the biggest mistake you ever make if you don't go. So I hit my manager, Nicole, at the time. And I was just like, Nicole, I'm dumb. I messed up. Like, I missed the audition. I can't believe it. So she was like, boy, go to the airport. She bought me a flight that morning on Southwest Airlines, and I made it by the skin of my teeth to that audition. And here I am. I actually beat everyone at the audition, and it was supposed to be just a 30-city tour of, with the OJs, and it turned into me touring with Gladys for about 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you were touring, did you have your own set? Were you singing background? How was it?
Yeah, I was singing background for Miss Knight, and maybe 2 years into it, that's when she approached me about writing. The same girl who recommended me for the audition, she said to Miss Gladys, like, well, you got one of the best songwriters under your nose. And Gladys was like, well, where he at? Give me something, So they gave me the opportunity to write, and I submitted, I think maybe 3 songs at the time. All 3 of them made her album, and we won Album of the Year at the NAACP Image Awards. So after that, that's when she was like, okay, I think I want you to be my protege. And at that time, I didn't really know what all that would entail. I just knew it had to be something amazing, to just work and be mentored by Ms. Knight. So yeah, that was back in 2013. So it's been a good 7 or 8 years, that I've been able to really study under her. And what I love is that, I feel like I'm really developed, as an artist. And that's something that's been a lost art for so long. You know what I mean? Like artist development. For me, I've never been in a rush to be up front because I just really wanted to make sure I was ready. And so now, moving into this new season of me releasing new music, I've been under Miss Knight for almost 10 years, but people just not starting to hear that story because it's like finally time. Like the cake is finally out of the oven. You know what I mean? You can smell the aroma. And I think that that's so important, not to be like, I just remember her saying to me so many times, this is a microwavable industry, but we oven baked around here. She'll say something like that just to show you that, it takes time to really develop. It takes time to learn who you are, learn your voice, know your story and the why, beyond being famous or any of those things. Like, why are you really doing this? Like, is it for more than your own personal gain? And, it's been a lot of just, challenges that I've overcome that I think prepared me, for this day.
Nice. And I love that you mentioned the why. So you actually do a lot. You work in the music industry behind the scenes, but you also produce and you sing. So how'd you kind of merge it all together?
I think it's an ever evolving or learn. Like, I'm always learning the right way to do it, I would say. For me, I try to be a part of projects that I'm passionate about, because sometimes you could get lost into like, just trying to make money. And I think that's important. We all need to do that. But for me, I feel like the best balance has been projects that I feel God called me to. Because for me, it's always ministry based. I started as a gospel artist in the church. And so even though I'm in mainstream music now, I always try to connect it to a why. Like, what is the reason why I'm writing on this or producing on this? Or, what do you have for me to do in this space, God? And so for some reason, it always balances out. Artistry is something I feel like I was called to do. It's not my first choice, honestly, because I'm a really private person and I just rather support people and be behind the scenes. But there's certain songs that God gave me for me to sing, and he was very specific about the why, and so that's why I do the music side of artistry. But for writing, I just love storytelling. I love a good story. I love to connect with people through music, and it's the universal language. So it's just like, I would say that I have to do both. I couldn't see myself just being a producer without the artist side, and I couldn't see myself being an artist without the producer side, because as a producer or as a songwriter, I'm able to reach people beyond myself. You know what I mean? Like, if you never hear an Avehre song, you may still hear me through someone else that I've written for. And I think that's just a way to transcend time and just go beyond yourself.
And who are some other people you've written for?
I've written for, of course, Gladys, Wanye Morris from Boys to Men, for Little Mo. I've worked with Dawn Richard from Dirty Money, Danny the King. I've written for Jacquees. I've written for Lloyd. I've written for a lot of gospel artists as well. And then, I work with a lot of up and coming artists too. So there's some people from, The Voice and American Idol and stuff like that I've been working with for the past few years. So yeah, I work with whoever wants to work with me. I feel like it's just got to be some synergy there. I'm not really, caught up into the names, because sometimes you just meet people who don't have a big name, but they're just the most incredible people to work with. And so for me, that's the most rewarding, when it just fits and it feels good and it's authentic.
For sure. And you mentioned that you were from Chicago. So how has Chicago kind of shaped your musical background? And I know you grew up singing in the church too. So how'd that come together?
Well, I grew up here in Chicago. I'm home now visiting. And this city is just such an incredible city, full with talent. I started in gospel, like you said, and I don't know if people are familiar with a group called Joshua's Truth. But I used to sing with Joshua's Troop, and they're under the direction of Percy and Gerald Gray, which also are responsible for Chicago Mass Choir and New Direction. And so early on, I was exposed to just, being able to travel and tour and sing about God and see people, be uplifted. And shortly after that time, I met a beautiful young lady named Kiara Sheard from Detroit. And Kiara and I, she was one of my first mentors, and I was over the BRL choir for Chicago for a number of years. And I think that Chicago just really helped me to learn true musicianship. Some of our greatest musicians are from this city, and it taught me leadership too, because like I said, I used to be over some incredible groups and choirs, and so to manage that time and other people and kind of deal with different personalities, I would say it really prepared me for that next chapter of my life. um, Being in Chicago is tough too. You know what I mean? We're known for being like a tough city, and I would say that the music industry is no different. You got to really come with something special because everybody can do it, you know, and it's like they want to know what makes you different, what makes you stand out. So I think that it just taught me to just be myself, you know,
Mhm.
be authentically you. What's from the heart is going to reach the heart. And I couldn't have been more prepared for LA coming from a city like Chicago, you know what I mean? Because we got some tough critics, you know, and even with the people that love you, you're going to get some tough love from Chicago. So it was a lot of, you know, people that was rooting for me. But when I needed to be checked, you know, they'll say, all right, you need to straighten that up. You need to tighten that up. And it made me a better person. It made me a better musician. So I'm just so grateful for Chicago. It's to always be home.
That's awesome. And it's a lot going on in Chicago right now. I know with, I think his name was Adam Toledo.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier storytelling, and like I'm the biggest fan of storytelling in music because, you know, today's music, sometimes it gets kind of iffy with
Yeah.
storytelling is not there. So I actually like that you do that. And then especially with your song, Bulletproof. I know you released it last year, but as we've seen like already this month with Adam Toledo and Dante Wright in Minnesota, our Black men and boys are still getting gunned down.
And you
So
know
your
what?
song like still rings right now.
What's so sad is that I released that song last year, but we wrote it maybe 3 years prior. And
Oh wow.
in, it was in lieu of a whole nother, you know, unfortunate event with one of our Black brothers, you know, being gunned down by police brutality. And year after year, this song is still relevant, and I wish it wasn't. You know, that's
Hmm.
the heartbreaking part when I hear, you know, that people love this song. The fact that we have to make music that reflects this time is so heartbreaking. But I think it's one of those painful but necessary things. And you know, our job is to always reflect the times. And unfortunately, this is a time that has been long spent. You know, that we've seen this in the media. So I just encourage people to really, you know, try to make a change. Be the change that we want to see. And that's why I wrote that song, Bulletproof,
Hmm.
because I think we just need to be encouraged, and we just need to know that we are strong. But yeah, we need a change. We need a change in this world. It's really sad.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna ask too, as a Black man, like where was your headspace at when you were writing that?
You know, I think it was a mixed emotion because we want to be strong, but we are scared. You know, we are scared to be out because it can happen to anybody. You could be doing nothing wrong, completely nothing wrong, and still not make it home. So I wrote that song in a place of frustration, in a place of just being fed up, you know. But unfortunately, sometimes we are scared. We're scared to just drive home, just to go to the store.
Mhm.
You know, I was, you know, even since I've been here in Chicago just a few days, I've witnessed the police pull over a few people. Just me, just in the car, minding my own business. And you just never know what their story really is or what the outcome could be. So, you know, this song is to, you know, let my brothers know we are strong, we are powerful, you know, but it's really to make us think about the things that's going on around us, because you just never know someone's story. You just never know
Yeah.
what they're going through.
Yeah. Well, kudos to you for blessing us with a song like that.
Oh, thank you so much.
But on a lighter note, you're gearing up to release your debut EP, which is kind of crazy because it's your debut, but you've been out here.
Yeah,
So it's called Green Light, right?
it's called Green Light. I'm excited about this EP. It's super swaggy, and it's just really a different. I think it's kind of like a just an evolved Avehre, you know, because for so long, like I said, coming from the church and then being under Miss Gladys, I don't know if people really knew my personal identity as an artist. and then being a writer for so long, you know, there was no music to really show who I was outside of my pen. So this is just going to be an opportunity for people to get to know me a little bit more up close and personal. I'm grown. I got a I got a 10-year-old daughter who's turning 11 in 2 weeks. And so, I think life for me has just evolved, and it's showing me so many different sides of myself that I didn't know before. So this project is really to inspire people to just go, like green light means go, of course. And it's just like, when it's your time, you just got to step into it and walk into it with all of the boldness and all of the authority and all of the swag that you got. So this project reflects that, and it's some fun records, it's some dance records on there. It's a vibe. It's just really great. I'm working with some incredible producers. Raj Will, who is in Los Angeles, California. He's the head of the Mike House Studios, which is one of the first Black-owned studios in Hollywood. So kudos to Raj Will and the whole team there. And then, of course, Dimitri Green. I'm working really close with him as well from the Vibe Creators. Just incredible, right out of Seattle, Washington. So yeah, this project's fun. I'm excited. I got the single coming out in a few weeks. I'm not gonna say the title of it, but yeah, y'all gotta stay tuned. And I just been doing this new series as well called The Coveres. So it's not a cover, but it's a cover, and it's my spin on today's hottest music as well as some classics, and I just remake them, and we just have fun with it. And we've been putting that out as well, and it's been going really great. So stay tuned for that as well.
Nice. Is it coming in May or the end of April? When can we expect
It's
it?
coming in May, like mid-May. The Covere series has already started. And that's just to get people warmed up, let them hear my voice on some other songs, some classics and some of today's hottest music. So, but yeah, my single will be out mid-May. And from there, we're just going to keep it rolling.
Nice. I'm really excited about that, to see how your sound individually is evolving, but even collectively, I see you have, I guess, I wouldn't call it a group. I don't know. Is it a group when it's two of you? But you and Adam Ness?
Yeah.
Elion? A duo. There we go. That's the word.
And what's cool about this is some people think it's new, but we actually were a duo before we ever were solo artists. So I've been with Adam Ness for almost 12 or 15 years. And we actually met through Kiera Sheard. Adam is from Detroit, and he was with Kiera touring back in the day. And, he just was an insane vocalist that I just fell in love with this guy's voice, and we became brothers. And, he moved from Detroit to Chicago, maybe 10, 12 years ago to be in this group with me. And we were a gospel duo at first, and our music is like very progressive. Urban. It's got all of these different flares to the sound. I think that it was just different for gospel. Like, our message was inspirational, but the sound was very different. And so we just wanted to explore our own creativity and our own writing. And so, for the last 7-8 years, we just been rocking out. I was touring with Gladys. He was taking over Chicago. And, we just decided to come back together and just do this EP, because we just love, music and love singing together. And it's phenomenal. We actually did majority of it last year. The end of last year in November, we flew all around the country together and just recorded. So it's just tucked away in the vault right now. And it'll be coming out, whenever the Lord tells us to release it. So we're excited about that. Our group is called Elyon, Elyon. And it means God Most High, because the Lord is always with us. And, He's the reason why we do everything, no matter what genre. So
that is really awesome. So we have two goodies coming.
That's right. Gospel goodies coming, baby.
Yes, nice.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for this conversation. The Green Light EP coming soon. Can you let listeners know where to follow you and how to keep up with everything you have going on?
Absolutely. Please definitely follow me at the headquarters, which is iamavehre.com. That is the domain. And got some cool merch coming and new music, and all of the exclusive videos will be there. But also, please stay tuned to me on social media. My IG is at Avehre, Avehre. Again, Avehre on Twitter. It is I am Avehre, just like the website, IAMAVEHRE. And then on my YouTube channel at Avehre, I got a lot of cool things coming up. And so I'm looking forward to y'all staying in the mix.